I'm Larry Handley, and this is For Better or Worse, brought to you by Little Brown Dog Productions. This is a podcast designed to help couples plan their wedding day by introducing them to the very best wedding professionals in the Greater Cincinnati area. Joining me today is Jerry Boehner, president of Vonderhaar's Catering, a company that has been providing food and beverages for weddings, receptions, and events for the past 5 decades. Jerry,
Okay. Yes.
thanks for having us here. We
for-
appreciate your time. Vonderhaar's, let's start with the name. It's
Okay.
such a Cincinnati thing, right?
Yes.
It's so uniquely and specific Cincinnati, Vonderhaar's.
Yes.
So how does a guy named Boehner become president of this company?
Well, I married into the Vonderhaar family. I married Don's daughter
Okay,
in 1994.
okay.
So
And you've been working with the company for how long?
25 years.
Okay.
So
So the company is celebrating their 50th anniversary, correct?
correct.
Tell me about, is it true that the very first catering job ever was Don, the founder's
Correct.
wedding?
Yes, it was his wedding, so he thought he would do something different and start catering. He had a little meat shop over here, and he started catered his wedding, and that started it all.
Was it this meat shop that's right here in this block?
Yes.
This block is impressive. I've never been here, so this block is impressive. It's a little dynasty right here.
Right.
Tell me
Yeah.
about all the stuff going on.
Well, he bought the store in 1969,
Okay.
and he added on the kitchen in the mid-'80s, and then 76 he bought a house here and tore it down. It was just a neighborhood house, tore it down, built a Creamy Whip.
So that's where the Creamy Whip
Yes,
is. Okay.
yes. He wanted to put a Dairy Queen there, but it didn't work out, so he just did it himself and started the Creamy Whip. And then we built this in 1989,
Uh-huh.
no, 2000, I don't know, it was 2008,
Okay.
so it was about 11 years old.
Okay.
So
So that first the first catering job must have been a success.
yes,
The fact that
Right.
you're doing it 50 years later.
sure. And he did a lot of sandwiches, a lot of meat trays.
hmm
And I believe when he first started, he catered out of the back of the station wagon, you know.
Did the catering part of it, and the reason I ask these questions about the catering is because really this podcast is intended for brides and grooms
Okay.
who are planning their wedding,
Sure.
just getting to know some of the vendors that they may or may not hire. So tell me about how the catering has changed over the past 50 years and what innovations that you're most proud of, things like that.
Oh, it's changed drastically.
Has
He
it?
started out with lunch meat, and then shortly after that, he bought a propane grill, and he was pulling a grill around with the van.
hmm
And he started doing a lot of company cookouts. He would do some weddings with cookouts. As time evolved, he ended up with 5 of the grills, and we would do anywhere up to 3,000 people to 30 people.
Does
So-
it resemble at all today what it was when Don was
No,
doing?
no, it's totally different.
Is it?
You look back at some of the pictures and just the decor and the dress that they wore, you know, the vest and the different things were totally different. So-
Now Don passed, correct?
Yes, yes.
How many
He
years
passed
ago?
3.5 years ago.
Oh, so he got to see what it is today.
Yes.
Did he
yes.
understand it? Did he get it?
He
Was he
did.
on board?
He did. He kind of felt out of place because he didn't really know where to fit in. But he still would help out,
Yeah.
and he would do what he could, and people loved him.
Was it like big beyond his imagination?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So when somebody is interested maybe in hiring Vonderhaar's to cater their wedding, how do they go about it? How far in advance, for example, should they try to book you guys?
Most
Any
brides,
suggestions you might have for
yeah,
them?
most brides start about a year ahead of time.
Okay.
Start making some phone calls and kind of getting some preliminary information, and then first they want to shop for a venue, get a venue first, but they kind of put their feelers out, see who they want to do the food,
Right.
and then once they get a good feel for it, they may schedule a tasting and come in and taste the food and see if that's really what they want, and then they may come back a second time and tweak their menu and they want their own menu for their wedding. They want it to be different than their sisters or their brothers or
Right.
their cousins that got married, a year before. So everybody always wants to have their own little twist on
I
it.
was going to ask, so you personalize it.
Yes.
If they want a certain specific menu, you guys will figure out how to do it?
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes they have their own recipe, like a family recipe. Sometimes they have like a couple different cultures get married and they want to do some food, maybe like an Indian food. Some food they want to do German or
Yeah.
something like that. They'll bring their own recipes in, and we'll recreate those recipes for them to have like a signature dish or like a family dish that they've had that's tradition for them.
Do you, so if somebody does do that, do you practice? I mean, do you go in the kitchens back
Yeah, we'll
here?
do it in the kitchen. We'll practice it and we'll try it. You know, and if we think it's good, you know, we'll let them try it, and then they'll say, well, it needs a little more pepper, it needs a little more spice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you say we, you mean the staff?
The staff, yeah.
That's a fringe benefit,
yes,
right?
It is.
They get to eat the new stuff.
We never go hungry.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
That's a great thing. So it's not a menu that's rock solid. You take it or leave it. They get to do what they want to do.
Right, correct.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
how many weddings a year do you guys serve?
in a week, a month,
Like in a year?
in a year, we probably do upwards of 300 weddings a year.
Mm-hmm. So when you started in, what you say, 1994?
Yes.
Was the catering business, had it already taken off at that point, or has it grown a lot since then?
It's taken off, and then from there we just seem to grow, you know, 10, 15% every year.
Yeah.
Just get bigger, add more people, more staff.
Now, I'm guessing that you guys have been around as long as anybody in terms of the competition in the market?
There's a few other vendors been out there longer than us, but
Oh, really?
they kind of, not come and go, but they kind of peak. You know, you don't hear as much about some of them.
Is it a growing business? Are there more competitors trying to get into
There's
the
more
market?
competitors, and every restaurant now say they cater. So everybody thinks they cater, but they don't. They can't handle the volume and the scope of things that we can do.
So it's different.
Yes.
How's it different? What can't a restaurant do that you guys are capable of doing?
Well, we can bring the food out, cook it on site, serve it, and all the staff and the service that we provide is much more than what a restaurant, or you know, they just want to drop it off, or you come pick up the food. So they don't really staff the events.
Understand. Now Vonderhaar's, I said at the beginning that just the name screams family, right?
Right.
Is
yes.
it still a family business?
There's still a lot of families still involved. Yes.
Like who? How many people are still family? How many Vonderhaars are on staff here?
Oh, there's probably 8.
Oh, yeah?
8 to 10 at any one given time. Some are cousins. Some are like my kids, some nieces, nephews. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And aunts and uncles have worked in the previous. You know, they've since retired and moved on, but we have plenty of family around.
How does it being a family business manifest itself? How does it feel different than maybe working for a big corporate catering company or something?
Well, they've got a little more, say, vested interest in the game. So you know, they want the food to taste good because they know, you know, it's a family recipe. That, you know, they want it duplicated the same as it has been for 50 years. So they really protect the recipes and the quality of food.
Yeah, the brand's important to them because their name's on it.
Sure.
Yeah. When Don Sr. did his wedding, catered his wedding, were there more after that, family members? Have a lot of family members?
Oh, yeah, there's been a lot of family members.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your wedding?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Did Don Sr. cater your wedding? He couldn't. He had to walk his bride down girl down the aisle, right?
He did. It was kind of a group effort, but there was about 350 people there for that. So
yeah,
a lot of the staff did it. Most of the family participated in the reception, so they didn't do much with the food.
Gotcha.
So they prepared it, and then they went home, changed, and then they went to the wedding. So.
I understand. Yeah. So he kind of had his hands in it, but knew he had a higher priority elsewhere.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yes.
You're the president.
Yes.
Do you get the positive feedback? Do you get to hear the compliments come in?
Yes, I get to hear, you know, the positive and negative.
There's no negative, is there?
Once in a great while. And you can't always be perfect.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the ball gets dropped, or sometimes there's a detail gets overlooked, and you just have to address it as it comes in.
What's the greatest compliment you've ever gotten as the president of Vonderhaar's Catering?
Usually it's the staff. They compliment on the staff. You know, how wonderful staff we have, and they all did whatever they needed to do to make the bride and groom's night successful.
Is that the primary reason that you differentiate yourself from other catering companies?
Yes.
Staff?
Yes. Because everybody has different judgment on food, whether it's good or not, but they can't really judge the staff. If your service is above and beyond, that'll take care of, you know, the differences in the food.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody doesn't like the food, or if it's too spicy, or whatnot, they judge it by the service. The service usually wins the bride and groom over.
It's about experience,
Yes,
right? It's not just about the taste,
right,
it's about
exactly.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So 50 years in the business,
Yes.
I'm sure that certainly times have changed, and I would suggest that social media has probably changed that quite a bit.
Right.
Nothing more important in our business, and we do videography for weddings, so
Sure.
it applies to us too. Nothing more important than a really nice review from somebody on social media.
Yes.
You guys get those?
We get a lot of those.
So here's my opportunity I want to give to you. If you could write a review for one of your clients, what are some of the things you would want said? What's important to you guys?
As far as our clients?
Yeah, if you were a client of one of yours and you were writing a review about Vonderhaars, what would you want it to say? What would be perfect?
I'd like to see it talk about the service team, from the beginning to the end, from the first phone call, how they've got treated. Everything was in a timely fashion, responded to them.
Mm-hmm.
All the details of their event was spot on. We had all the details because there's so many details for weddings, and to get all those right sometimes is, they're constantly changing.
Yeah.
All the way up to the last hour before the wedding.
Absolutely.
So to have all that stuff fall right in place would be ideal.
Do you guys have certain venues that you work a lot with or exclusively with?
Yes, we're preferred vendors at quite a few places in Cincinnati.
Any exclusives, like that only use you guys?
Exclusive? No.
No. You have favorites?
Yeah, we
places
have some.
Places you like best?
Yes.
What are some of those?
Wiedemann Hill Mansion is
nice
one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Small place. It's kind of limited.
Great view.
Right.
Yeah.
And then another favorite is Music Hall, which holds about 500-600 people. So there's a lot of favorites out there. Some are easier to work than others.
Yeah. Wiedemann and Music Hall, those are two very different places.
Yes, they
So that's
are.
interesting that
Right.
both of those are on your favorites list.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
So if a bride and groom want to get a hold of you and inquire about possibly booking you, what's the best way to do it?
The best way would be to call the office.
Okay.
Or they could go to the website.
What's the phone number?
It's 554-1969.
Okay. Or the website,
Or the
which
website is vonderhaars.com. And there's a contact form on there that you could send an inquiry in to get the process started.
Was Don Sr. proud of this place?
Yes, very proud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was he cool with the growth and how it expanded and became what it is today?
Yes, it took him a little while when it first started growing. He didn't like all the people. He knew that was costing him money, but once he seen the events come off, he was really proud.
Costing him money, but earning him money ultimately.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I got
right.
you. I appreciate your time. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir. Anything
Thanks,
else? Should I ask you something that I didn't?
No, I think we've got everything covered.
Yeah, you sure?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Nothing else you want to add? This is your opportunity.
Yeah. No.
Thanks.
All
Thanks
right.
again. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse, sponsored by Little Brown Dog Productions. Until next time, happy planning.